Hey there, everyone. In today's video, we are going to explore the topic of dynamic pricing. You see this all over the place. There's so many different applications. I'll take you through a lot of them. Usually, the price of a product or service is adjusted in real time based on changing demand. So this could be anything from airline prices to hotel prices to rideshare prices, even prices for Netflix subscriptions. As things change over time, the price will change. So the enterprise that is offering this service or this product can capitalize on the opportunity when demand spikes up, right? So time-based pricing is one of these dynamic pricing strategies. We see that the price can change based on the time of day of the week, the season, or other kind of temporal or time-based factors. So here's a short list. This is not completely comprehensive and all-encompassing, but here are many of the common examples where you see the seasonal changes, time-based changes, real-time monitoring needs to be applied to, right? So you understand what the demand is as it changes. Peak and off-peak pricing. Off-peak can have discounts. Peak season is going to have a bump up in price. Happy hour specials. Okay, of course that's going to show up here. Any kind of forecasting that needs to be done is going to be taken into consideration as well. So here we're saying if the hour of the day is 8 to 12, use the base price times 1.2. If the hour of the day is 12 to 6 p.m., use the base price times 1.5. Okay, so we have our data. I didn't have actual data here. I just have Python making up a hypothetical but realistic scenario for myself here. So if you have your own data, you can feed that into the model and you'll get your own specific results here. So we can see this is about 2 days in August, so August 16th and August 17th. And we can see earlier in the day, well, around noon on August 16th, the price spikes up from 120 to 150. It remains consistent, then it drops off a little bit later around 6 p.m. and then stays pretty much flat until the next day, August 17th, at around 6 a.m. It jumps up from 100 to about 120, where it probably stays throughout the morning. Okay, so this is just a very simple example, but you will see in any kind of temporal type of scenario where you have a time series that these prices are subject to change throughout the day, right? These enterprises that are running these businesses want to capitalize on the surge in demand, right? As demand increases, they're going to adjust their prices higher so they can make more money. And if demand falls off a cliff, they're going to lower prices to motivate people to come back and to utilize that service or that product, right? Demand-based pricing is another strategy that you see in product and service delivery. Usually demand monitoring, identify demand patterns, real-time analysis, of course. Price adjustments are dynamic. Surge pricing, okay, that's gonna be applicable as well. Any kind of promotions or discounts, okay, those will be applied too. So here's another made-up sample with the data. I don't have the actual data, so I'm telling Python just to create a hypothetical but realistic scenario for me. Now we have our demand-based pricing data. Let's go ahead and plot this. We can see that the curve, the demand is inverted as the price increases, the demand decreases, right? That's pretty typical. So unless there's some very unusual or very special circumstance, maybe Louis V handbags could be an exception, but a lot of times as the price increases, the demand will decrease. So this is pretty common scenario, right? Here's another example: competitive-based dynamic pricing. This is looking at factors related to your competition. What's the competition doing? You have to do data analysis, set pricing rules, have your prices be dynamically adjusted, right? There could be constraints for management, constraints for cost of raw materials, things like this. Any kind of strategic positioning could be a consideration as well. So let's generate the data again. Control Enter to run it. Okay, and then let's pull out the results. Okay, we can never see what it is. I'll just refresh this just to show you what's happening in real time. And again, we see the base price in blue and the dynamic price in orange. So as demand is increasing, the prices are going to increase almost guaranteed, right? The seller of that product or service is going to capitalize on people's wants or needs for more stuff, right? As the demand jumps up, then the prices will probably jump up as well, right? So here's an example of location-based dynamic pricing. So in this scenario, some prices could be adjusted downwards, right? If you're far out in the country, things are probably going to be cheaper than if you're in a big metropolitan area. And if you're located far away from everything, like out in the desert in the Southwest United States, or a very remote region in the Pacific Northwest, prices could be cheaper. But actually, the transportation costs could be higher, so those prices might actually be higher if it's in a very remote location, because it's just costs the vendor, it just costs them more to get the product or the service to that location. So it could go either way. Let me hit Control Enter, generate the data, do the plot down here. Okay, we have 3 locations. Again, just hypothetical, but just also illustrating the point where location B is strategically higher than location A and C, and we would have to do a little bit more analysis. I kind of randomly generated this data, but in a real life scenario, you would want to know, why are the prices higher at location B? Is that a remote area or is it a metro area, right? It could go either way. Let's go continuing on here. Personalized dynamic pricing. Okay, so let me refresh it and we'll see what's going on here. You can see right here, if age is less than 25, there is a slight discount. You see this all the time for seniors too. If the senior citizen is over a certain age, they'll have a price discount. Probably here, they're trying to appeal to younger people that don't have as much disposable income as a more mature professional that's been working for several years. And then there can be loyalty levels applied and all kinds of customization done right here. So let's go ahead and plot the data. It's good to plot all these things after you load the data, just to visually see what's going on here. The old saying is a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So you could use 1,000 words to describe what the data looks like, but if you look at it in a visual plot right here, it should be pretty obvious right here. The data spans from 80 to 120 in terms of price, and the frequency of purchases is going to be at a low of 2, maybe down to 1 at one point, and up to 10. Okay, so personalized prices do have a big impact on people's purchase patterns, right? Here's dynamic surge pricing. So again, Control Enter to run the data, and we'll look at the plot down here. Okay, and we can see again the visual is very telling here. It's very important. Surge prices increase based on surge multiplier, and you see this all the time in ride-sharing apps. Vacations, prices go up in the summer typically, and there's discounts in the winter. So hotels certainly, and airline travel exactly the same, right? Those are going to be pretty much run in parallel. Here's one more example. I think this is the last one here. This covers pretty much all the main topics in dynamic pricing. This is dynamic subscription-based pricing. So here we're looking at things like Netflix, Spotify. These would be examples of enterprises that would use this type of thing. And again, we'll plot it down here so you can see what this looks like visually. Okay, so for basic service, you're going to charge less and offer less. For standard service, you charge more and offer more. Offer more of that service. And then for premium, you give them everything, including the kitchen sink, right? So premium white glove service, and you pay more too, right? This is the breakdown of the customer base subscribing for these 3 types of services. So to wrap it up, there are a few other types of dynamic pricing models. These aren't as common as the ones we saw above, but there are event-based dynamic pricing, where the event can impact the price, such as holiday pricing, festivals, promotions. Obviously, holiday pricing can go up, right? You see that. Or it could go down too, right? Like on Amazon, you'll have Black Friday discounts, right? And I think Amazon has this thing called Amazon Day where they have discounts. That's not really a holiday necessarily, but I guess if you work at Amazon or if you're a big Amazon shopper, that's kind of like a holiday. They used to do that. I'm not sure if they still do that, but that would be an example. Any kind of flash sale dynamic pricing, right, to get customers in. Maybe even like going out of business, you'll have huge discounts. I've seen that all around New York City. Somehow the stores never really go out of business. They have a sign out front saying that they're going to go out of business, and they offer a lot of discounts, and the store is still there years later, and they deploy that tactic over and over. So apparently that works. Reputation-based dynamic pricing, adjust for service based on the reputation or the perceived value of that company. You can actually measure the reputation of a company and quantify the reputation. I've seen that done before. So if you have a high reputation, you can charge more, like a top consulting firm, right? If you're a top tier consulting firm, they can charge more for their services. If you are kind of not a household name consulting firm, you're probably gonna not be able to compete with those premium guys. So you can charge a lower service, right? You just can't operate at that white glove level. And what else? Dynamic algorithmic pricing refers to algorithms dynamically changing prices over time as demand ebbs and flows, right? So if demand spikes up, the price can be adjusted up almost immediately. You see this in Uber and Lyft costs. So that is very dynamic and very algorithmic based, changing constantly as the demand for the service changes. So that's pretty much it, guys. That covers all the main topics. I'm going to download this file as a HTML and post it with the video when I post it, so you can copy and paste this, run it in your own Jupyter Notebook environment, and of course substitute your own specific data for my data. I just came up with hypothetical data to illustrate the point of how these dynamic pricing methodologies work. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. Thanks for your time today. Have a great day. Bye.